Welcome back all you transhumanists. I hope you enjoyed the last video of Transmetropolitans up on the roof. Since then I've managed to put together a build of our favourite truth-obsessed, terror of editors everywhere, Spider Jerusalem. Now, this is a sci-fi character in a fantasy world, so we are going to need some leeway for this one. Also we're going to dive into the Unearthed Arcana, so make sure that you check with your DM before you spring any playtest material on them to make sure it's okay. That being said, I am the Deconstructive DM. Welcome to the show, and let's dive right into the deconstruction of Spider Jerusalem.
Goals for this build: cool shades. After all, where would you be without your signature look, right? We'll snag these plus a method for getting pictures for your columns for Royce. Naked Fury. So Spider's signature outfit is literally just a black jacket and trousers sporting his tattoos, and despite Spider's stature he takes out way bigger and often better armed and armoured opponents, so we'll be doing exactly the same. Mutant Cat. So believe it or not, 5e does have something for this, and although in the series your cat isn't a huge plot point, it's a bit of fun for the character and we can totally run with it. Delver of Secrets. You're a journalist, truth can't hide from you. Silver-tongued Devil. Whether it's bluffing your way into a presidential press conference or barging your way into a heavily armed bar, you've definitely got the skills to talk your way into and out of any space you see fit. Gadgets and Ganj. We can fix our mafia-run maker and fuel our habit to boot. Whether that's wise or not, well, we'll see. For this build I'm going to be using the standard point array. Roll if you want to, just make sure that you hit 13 intellect and wisdom for multi-classing purposes. Order is as follows: you want to put your max points into dexterity, then wisdom, intelligence, then constitution, charisma, and then we're going to drop strength. Race. We're going to need a feat for this build, and so Spider is a variant human. Drop the extra points into dexterity and wisdom for multi-classing purposes. All will be revealed shortly, and make sure that you take the sleight of hand skill, which should obviously give you a clue as to which way we're going to take this build. Take the keen mind trait. So unfortunately, photographic shades don't exist in D&D, so this is the closest thing you're going to get to image recall. We'll get those shades, and they'll still serve their purpose for looking cool, plus another trait that humans are lacking later. For background purposes, there are multiple choices for Spider depending on where on the timeline you are. He could be a criminal for the sheer amount of contacts that he's got, or a folk hero beloved by the masses for his column, but for our dirt digging expertise we're going to go with the Sage background. So Sage grants you proficiency in Arcana and History, plus 2 languages, and most importantly the Researcher trait, which is that if at any point you need to know a piece of information, you either can figure out the information or know where you can find it. Now, before we dive into the build, a quick note on the level order. You can swap the multi-class levels around. These are my personal order to make the build as viable as possible, as early as possible. Just make sure that you start off with Rogue to grab your essential skills. Level 1, Rogue 1. As a rogue, you get 4 skills from the rogue list. Make sure that you grab Insight, Investigation, Intimidation, and Persuasion. Take your expertise in Insight and Intimidation, so no Secret Service agents fancy tangling with you. We also pick up Sneak Attack, which we'll improve on later, as you're definitely not the sneaky rogue type. And Thieves' Cant is good for tapping up those underworld connections. For level 2, jumping over to Monk now. This is for unarmored defense. Wearing an open-fronted jacket leaves your squishy bits right where people can see them. You also gain martial arts, so you're using Dex and a D4 for your unarmed strikes, and you can take a bonus unarmed strike if you've just sucker punched someone who's denying you an interview. Level 3, Monk 2. Second level monks get unarmored defense, increasing your speed by 10 feet while you're not wearing armor or carrying a shield. You're great at getting into and out of trouble fast. You also get the all-important key points for Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind. Level 4, Monk 3. Third level monks get to choose a monastic tradition, and we're going to go with Way of the Kensei from Sandthar's Guide to Everything, allowing you to pick 2 weapons. Now, here's where we need some wiggle room from your DM. So Spider tends to fight barehanded, which means Sneak Attack doesn't apply, as you need to use a finesse or ranged weapon. I'd suggest asking your DM if they're okay with reflavouring a finesse weapon in the weapons table as something akin to a knuckle duster. For your Kensei weapon, failing that, you can always just go with a dagger or a short sword for the first blow and then follow up with a flurry of blows. You also get deflect missile, allowing you to reduce incoming damage or catch the missile if it's reduced to 0 damage and throw it back for a key point. Finally, and most importantly, you get way of the brush, letting you take proficiency with painter's tools or calligraphy tools. I suggest you take painter's tools because this allows you to paint pictures from your key mind. Okay, it's not photographs, but I tried without homebrew, guys, and it kind of works. So yeah, level 5, Rogue 2. So back over to Rogue now. Second level rogues get cunning action, meaning when the transients start to riot, you can dash out of harm's way and run for cover. Level 6, Rogue 3. Third level rogues get to take a roguish archetype, and if you hadn't guessed it, we're going for Inquisitive from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. This grants you Ear for Deceit, which turns you into a human bullshit detector, the nightmare of politicians everywhere. Eye for Detail, letting you spot hidden creatures or look for clues, and lastly, and most importantly, Insightful Fighting. This lets you use your bonus action to make an insight check on a creature you can see, contested by its Charisma Deception. If you succeed, you can sneak attack without needing advantage, but not if you have disadvantage, and this lasts for a minute or till you change target. Now, this absolutely epitomizes Spider's fighting style, whether it's taking out Secret Service guards or police, transient bodyguards, anyone else who's in the way of the truth. You can shake hands with them and then stomp them to the ground. Level 7, Artificer 1. We're diving into our Unearthed Arcana. Remember, check with your DM if playtest material is allowed, as this still is in playtest at time of recording. Also, you need a minimum of 13 intelligence to multiclass into Artificer. First level Artificers get Magical Tinkering, letting you spot magic into objects, providing effects such as emitting light, playing a recorded message, or a static visual. Flavouring this as feature tech is exactly what Wizards had in mind when they were making the Artificer. You also get Spellcasting, allowing you 2 cantrips and 2 first level spells from the Alchemist list. You can take what you want, but I would recommend taking Shocking Grasp, as a successful hit means your enemy can't take reactions, so you can shock them and run away without burning a disengage, and this feeds into our Take 'em by Surprise fighting style. Also take Prestidigitation for the ability to instantly create palm-sized fake IDs. For your first level spells, I'd recommend taking Detect Magic and Identify, so you can figure out exactly what drugs your maker has manufactured for itself this week and take care of them. Level 8, Artificer 2. Second level Artificers get Infuse Item, letting you imbue mundane items with magical properties. You learn 3 infusions and there's plenty of fun things to tinker with here. I'd say pick what you want, but most importantly for us is we can take Replicate Magic Item, which allows us to create an item from a preset list. And our magic item of choice is Goggles of Night. And now we've got some cool shades that grant us dark vision. So that's it, we've got the signature look down. Level 9, Artificer 3. Third level Artificers gain Tool Expertise, doubling your proficiency with any tool you use. Now this sounds really open-ended, so I'd check with your DM about what this applies to. We also get to choose an Artificer archetype, and we're going to go with Alchemist to feed that nasty potion habit that Spider has. You gain proficiency in Alchemist supplies and a Herbalist kit if you don't have those already, and crafting potions takes you a quarter of the time plus half the gold it would normally. Third level Alchemists can also create an alchemical homunculus, and you know where we're going with this. So you can make the homunculus look like anything that you want, and I think that we're due to make it a mutant cat with 2 faces that likes to steal your cigarettes. So the homunculus is friendly to you and your allies, it obeys your commands, and has its own stat block, which I'll link below. It also has several special actions including Acidic Spittle, an alchemical salve, buoyancy, and the ability for you to give it inspiration on ability checks with a limited number of uses. That's a good kitty. Level 10, Rogue 4. Jumping back over to Rogue now, you get an ability score increase. Make sure that you pump up Dexterity and Wisdom to improve your unarmored AC and to improve your Insight and Perception skills. Optionally, you can pick up the Crossbow Expert feat, allowing you to shoot at close range without disadvantage. Level 11, Rogue 5. So 5th level Rogues get Uncanny Dodge, letting you take half damage on a failed save and no damage on a successful one. Level 12, Rogue 6. So 6th level Rogues get Expertise in 2 or more skills. Make sure you bump Investigation and Perception so that no secret can hide from you. Level 13, Rogue 7. 7th level Rogues get Evasion, letting you to dodge one area of effect spell. You know exactly when to go and hit the high ground. Level 14, Rogue 8. So 8th level Rogues get an ability score improvement. Again, bump your Dex and Wisdom. We're aiming to max these 2 out. Level 15, Rogue 9. 9th level Rogues get an Archetype feature. For an Inquisitive type, that's Steady Eye, granting you advantage on Perception and Investigation checks if you move no more than half your movement speed in that turn. Level 16, Rogue 10. So 10th level Rogues get another ability score increase. Keep pumping Dex and Wisdom if you've maxed out one of those, and switch to boosting your Intelligence to buff your Artificer skills. Level 17, Rogue 11. So 11th level Rogues get Reliable Talent, letting you treat any roll of a 9 or lower in a skill you're proficient with as a 10. Level 18, Rogue 12. 12 level rogues get another ability score increase. Keep pumping Dex and Wisdom. If you maxed out one of those two, then switch to boosting Intelligence to buff your Artificer skills. Level 19, Rogue 13. So 13th level rogues get a roguish archetype feature, which for you is Unerring Eye. As an action, you can sense the presence of illusions, shape changes not in their original form, and other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't blinded or deafened. You sense an effect that's attempting to trick you, but you get no insight into what's hidden or its true nature. You can also use this feature a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier, so make sure you get those guys in blur suits. Level 20, Rogue 14. Reaching our capstone, you get Blind Sense, which lets you detect the location of hidden or invisible creatures that are within 10 feet of you. Now we've finished, let's check the viability of this build. Strengths. So, no secrets can remain hidden from you with your researcher feat, experts in insight, perception, and investigation. It means you give Batman a good run for his money. Slippery customer, you have a ton of mobility options and ways to evade damage. Techno wizard, mixing your rogue and artificer skills makes you one with the machines and making you look like a machine god. Super surprising, rather than going for the sneak attack approach, you take people out face to face with so many ways to size up an opponent and take them by surprise. Weaknesses. This is an unfocused build, which means you miss out on the capstones of any of the classes. Split stats. So it's very difficult for you to max out 3 stats, with you being split between dexterity, wisdom, and intelligence. And that means you're missing out on potentially nabbing useful feats or for capping +5 modifiers across those skills. Slippery but squidgy. Assuming you cap Dex and Wisdom, you're at a respectable 20 on Armored AC, but you're not boosting your con stat, which means your health is close to an average of around about 100 HP. That makes you susceptible to power word kill if you roll badly, and you're just super squishy to late game enemies. Low magical damage. In later game, you'll likely be relegated to supporting roles, as you only have minor spells and very little to support your melee damage. Better hope that your DM manages to toss your magical weapon along the way. Things we missed. No Bowel Disruptor. Alas, there's no way to make this from raw, although I did find a combo letting you use prestidigitation, allowing you to fake like a person has soiled themselves, so you'll need to homebrew this one. No filthy assistance, though this can be remedied with hirelings, and no magical typewriter, so you'll have to get the cat homunculus to deliver your articles to Royce using your infused artificer objects.
Okay guys, that's it, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as usual, please like and subscribe and share this around if you found it useful. I got the idea for this video from Tulok the Barbarian, who does 2 of these builds a week, so definitely check out his channel if you're interested. Also, I now have set up a Discord and a Twitter, so if you want to come and join me and chat deconstruction anytime, links are down in the description. And until next time.